All right. We're ready to go. Let me just make sure that it's on the page real quick. Um, yeah, but so we're live now. Just giving you guys a heads up.
All right.
Uh, I just want to make sure that we're here. We're ready to go. Yep, it's showing up on the page. All right. So we'll just wait for a few minutes just to see. Let people trickle in. Are you able to check it on the YouTube? Oh, see, you can see the feedback there.
Yeah, that's me. I gotta shut this down now.
Is that on YouTube or the page?
That was your page.
Okay.
You want
Are
me
you
to try
able to?
YouTube to see if I see it?
Yeah.
Okay, give me a second.
I mean, like, there's two people watching right now, but I can't. It's the weirdest thing because I can't see their names on here, but I can see it on the page. I just have to turn down the volume and stuff.
I'm gonna check YouTube right now.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, I think it's live. It says live.
We're good. All right. Cool.
Yeah, we are. You're live on YouTube too.
Okay. Cool. So if anybody posts any comments, it'll come here, and I'll be able to read the comments for you
Okay.
guys and stuff. Already. Oh Jesus. All right. So we can start, or we can hang out for like 5 more minutes just to give people a chance to roll in. And then we
I
can
say
maybe
start at 3 after.
Okay. They should have been here 15 minutes prior.
There you go.
15
Yeah.
minutes past 15.
15 minutes ahead of time, you're on time. Showing up at on time is late.
Right? You got Firewatch tonight. No. I'm sorry. Oh man. All right, I think we're good though. Wait, hold on. I'm gonna share it on my page, on my personal page. Because
Okay.
that's when we'll be able to really see people come in here, and I'll be able to.
Yeah, I should do that to my page too.
Huh?
I
Yeah,
think,
share it on your pages so that people
yeah.
know that we're live. When we'll be able to really see.
Let's see. How do I do that? Let's see. I do this. Can
I
I
have to do it on my phone.
share? Okay. Let's see. How do I do that? Let's see. I do this. Can I
do it on my phone.
share? Okay. Let's see. How do I do that? Let's see. I do this. Can I
do it on my phone. You hear the feedback? You want to put the volume down?
Let's see. I do this.
Do it on my phone. All right, I just posted it now, so we should be good. I think it's about 5 minutes into it, so.
Yeah, I tried to share it on my page, but that didn't go. I don't know if I have to accept it or something.
Well, Miriam is in there now. I think she might be able to share. Can you? I'm gonna ask her to type and see if she's on. She's in there now. I think she might be able to share. Can you? I'm gonna ask her to type and see if she's on. She's in there now. I think she might be able to share. Can you?
Okay, so there seems to be a delay of verbal on different platforms.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we're good though. I think because I just saw her the video, so we can just start. Just make sure that you put your mute the rest of your devices so we don't get that feedback.
Yeah, I shut them down. I tried to share it to my page, but I don't.
Okay, cool.
See, I'm not worried about it. We can keep going.
That's fine. Great. So, hello everyone. Thanks for joining us. This is Maria Salazar. I'm the founder of Claymore Vets, and today I have the special honor of speaking with these two amazing gentlemen, Gary and Kelly, and they both are the leadership for the New Jersey Montford Marines chapter that I'm a part of. And for this Black History Month, I wanted to, get some awareness and spread the word. And also because I feel like the legacy of the Montford Marines it's important for all of us to know, because they paved the way for all of us. Hi, Miriam. So I will let them introduce themselves, and then we'll share a video that speaks about their legacy, and then we'll just talk after that. So, Gary, you can go first, sir.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Gary White. I am the president and one of the founding members of the Ken Rollick chapter number 45 in New Jersey. There had never been a chapter in New Jersey, and we changed that. We are a small group for now of very dedicated and motivated Marines and soldiers who have come aboard to pass on the legacy of the history of the Montford Point Marines. The Montford Point Marines came about at the beginning of World War II. I know the video that we're going to share with you will go a little more in depth as far as dates and times. However, one of the greatest things that we have is that we bask in the shadow of these giants that have gone before us. Not only Black Marines, but Hispanic Marines, Marines of all ilk from all over the world in their ethnic backgrounds, all for the same thing, being a Marine. And this is a legacy that we carry on because Black history is American history. And we try to bring that forth in every breath that we speak. Thank you.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for joining us today, and to share this message. Kelly, you can introduce yourself, please.
Sure. I just want to start off by saying thank you, Maria, for inviting us to this very important platform to talk about the Montford Point Marines and to share their history and their legacy. My name is Kelly Atkinson. I'm a Marine veteran, 4 years on active duty, 12 years in the reserves. I'm a Desert Storm veteran. I've been a member of the Montford Point Marine Association since the mid-90s, and I'm proud to be one of the co-founders of the New Jersey branch. I serve as the vice president. The name of our branch is Ken Rollick Chapter 45, New Jersey. And just to give you a little background there, Ken Rollick was an original Montford Point Marine. And what we mean by that, he was one of the first Black men allowed to join the Marine Corps. He went to boot camp at Montford Point Camp in North Carolina, which is right outside of Camp Lejeune. And he was actually a combat veteran. He's one of the first Black Marines to see combat in Saipan and on Okinawa. And after the Marine Corps, Ken Rollick actually joined the New York City Fire Department, where, again, he was one of the few Black firefighters and ended up retiring from there. He served as the president of the New York chapter. He served as some of the national roles within the organization, and he's a member of the Montford Point Hall of Fame. We've only been around for about 20 months. We signed our charter on May 9th, 2020, which was actually the birthday of Ken Rollick. So we're really proud to celebrate not just the legacy of the Montford Point Marines, but his legacy too. And he was a resident of Bergen County. So that's the connection. And I think tonight you're going to see some great information. We're going to give you some history. We're going to answer all your questions. So thank you for having me, and buckle your seatbelts.
Thank you. So a little bit a history about how we connected. I'm also a Marine Corps veteran. I served in 2002, 2011. I deployed to Iraq. I kind of met these guys through another Marine, Miriam, who's another badass. And she's one of my board members. And she was like, hey, you have to come, there's this group. They're super cool. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then here I am now. So, but with further ado, I'm going to show the video so we can kind of get things kicked off. If you guys have any comments, you could always post them up here. We're reading them. We're going to be answering them. If you have any questions for them, I will read it off to them, and, we'll just go from there. But here's the video. I hope you like it.
On June 25th, 1941, President Roosevelt issued Executive Order 8802, establishing the fair employment by the armed forces. From 1942 to 1949, a few brave African-American men changed the face of the United States Marine Corps forever. Faced with many challenges, they set out to make a difference and ended up making history. Listen as 3 Montford Point Marines share a personal story of honor, courage, and commitment.
My name is Robert D. Reed, served 26 years in the Corps from 1948 till 1974. The reason why I joined the Marine Corps was because at the time there was a draft, and when I graduated from high school, my buddies and I said, let's find out what the military is all about. Collectively, we said, let's do the Marine Corps. They seem to be some pretty tough guys. Now, we had joined. We weren't drafted, we joined the Marine Corps. They never told us that we were going to a separate boot camp. Well, the first couple of weeks was pure hell. My drill instructor, he was the one that told us that if you're going to be a black Marine, you're going to have to be better than anybody else. Better.
Subjected to very intense training, Reed and his fellow Montford Point Marines endured the hardships of boot camp, pushing them to limits most Marines had never experienced.
Well, the thing is, after my tour was up, came back to the States, and it just so happened that the Marine Aviation wanted to get blacks into their ranks. And I was one of the first blacks to go into Marine Aviation as an enlisted man. And my time in aviation wasn't until I got out of the Marine Corps.
Not only did the Montford Point Marines open doors, but they helped to set a precedent of courage for today's African-American Marines.
The Marine Corps was the last military service to be integrated. And I think that was the beginning of a new era of the Marine Corps.
The Montford Point Marines are extremely important. They were strong enough to take on a challenge that seemed to be insurmountable at that particular time. And for them, I do serve.
My name is Gene Dowdy. I was born in Stamford, Connecticut. I was really appointed by the Navy Department to serve in the Marines 7 months after the famous 8802 presidential proclamation allowed us to go into the Marine Corps. So I was one of the original pioneers. Montford Point Camp was a segregated camp. We felt the indignity that was thrown at us, but we had to learn, we had to face all of these challenges that we had.
Shortly after graduating from boot camp, Gene Dowdy's typical duties as an admin clerk shifted as the commandant began increasing the responsibilities of African-American Marines in the war campaign.
We ended up on the island of Iwo Jima. I landed on D-Day, incidentally, with a few ammunition companies and depot companies. It was very unpleasant, but I prevailed. I was glad to be in the Marine Corps, and I'm glad that I was honorably discharged. But going into the military service, I would consider, again, very gainful and a real true benefit.
The legacy of the Montford Point Marines, much like the famed 54th Infantry Regiment and the Tuskegee Airmen, is significant in the history of America and its armed forces.
I think it's something that a lot of people need to hear, to appreciate what they've actually done and to appreciate the opportunity that they created.
Charles O. Foreman. I joined the Marine Corps because I happen to be one of those people who does not like to be drafted. If I've got to do something, I like to do it on my own. I was ordered to go to Jacksonville, North Carolina, Montford Point. My experience in the boot camp was very typical.
During Foreman's time at the Montford Point camp, conditions were tough, as they were forced to build and live in wooden huts surrounded by the heavily rugged Jacksonville, North Carolina terrain.
After boot camp, the war in the Pacific was of course proceeding, and what was created was what they call the First Colored Replacement Battalion. And this was a group of men, I believe it was about 100 in the group. At that time, I think I had been promoted to a three-stripe sergeant, and I was responsible for all these people. We sailed out of San Diego to Oahu. While there, I carried the title of Acting First Sergeant. Well, we actually stayed there for the duration of the war. If you asked me the question if I had it to do over again, yes, I would do it over again. Being in the Marine Corps helped because it gave me the backbone not to accept what was handed down. If you want something, you better stand up and fight for it.
Today, there are thousands of African American Marines serving in all fields and in every occupational specialty of the Marine Corps.
If a Montford Point Marine walked up to me today, I would say thank you. Thank you for paving the way. Thank you for creating an opportunity for myself and my brothers in arms that's come before me and those that are come after me.
Man, tell me that doesn't make you like want to go sign up again. Right? It motivates you. Oh my God. So yeah, so let's unfold what does that mean? Like, what does it mean to you guys to have to carry that legacy for them?
You know, one of the interesting things about this video, it was short, sweet, and to the point, but it only scratches the surface of the experience, what these men went through, and all the things subsequent that happened. Black Marines were involved in every major campaign during the island hopping of the Pacific during the teeth of World War II. And it's a legacy because of the times that were very unfriendly to those who were non-Caucasian that they endured. There's been there's been a thing about some of the most patriotic men in America are Black men, because we fight and defend a country that doesn't necessarily fight and defend for us. So it gives me goosebumps to see the men who came along way before me and hear of their exploits, meet some of them, the ones that are still around, and be regaled by their stories. It gave me goosebumps the first time I experienced them, and that's what prompted me and motivated me to start the chapter.
Can you tell us a little bit about that? Because I think both of you have met an original Marine, right? In
Absolutely.
Philadelphia, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
How was
even
that
be,
experience?
so I'll just jump in here and just kind of tell my story, because I think my story, just like Gary's story, is similar to a lot of Marines, especially a lot of African American Marines. I went in the Marine Corps in the 80s. When I was on active duty, I served 4 years. I never even heard about the Montford Point Marines. Didn't know of their existence. I was a civilian for about 3 years, and then I went into the reserves, and it was a gentleman by the name of Joe Davis. Joe Davis was the president of the New York chapter, and I was living in New York at the time. I was at 6 Com up in the Bronx, and Joe Davis would come out to every drill, and he had a good relationship with the CO, and he'd get 5 or 10 minutes in front of the whole battalion, tell us about Montford Point. But like any Marine, you're not really absorbing that. If it's not about liberty, you know, you ain't really absorbing it. The great thing about Joe would hang around the whole drill weekend. And you would pass him in the halls, and Joe would be like, "Hey, Marine, do you got a second? Do you got 5 minutes?" And he would do that the entire drill weekend and do that the entire year. So when we had drill, he took it as he had drill. So you got to know Joe, you got to hear this story. And the impact for me was in the early 90s, he invited me to a Montford Point ball in New York City. And I went to this ball, there was over 500 people in there. It was probably 99% Black, which, you know, in the Marine Corps, I never saw that in a Marine Corps ball. And all of these original Montford Point Marines were there. And that was the aha moment for me. That's when I said, okay, I'm joining this. Gene Dougherty, one of the gentlemen that was in that video, was from the New York chapter. Gene was great. He was there. Ken Rollick, who we named our chapter after. David Dinkins, who a lot of people don't know is a Montford Point Marine. You know, so it's all these originals in that room, and it was the aha moment for me. at that moment, because then I took it on in and I really understood what it was all about. So when I met Gary, and which is an interesting story, we met at an NAACP meeting, and he did the are you a veteran? Yeah, I'm a veteran. You know how Marines are. They got
Recruiting all the
a
time.
little arrogant like those.
What?
Yes, I'm a Marine. And once I said I was a Marine, it was like he said, "Well, I'm a Marine." Okay, the guard came down, and then he started to tell me about the Montford Point Marines, and I said, "Hold on. I'm a member. I'm in New York. I've been in New York forever. Where you at?" And he said he was in the Philly chapter, and we literally bonded in that meeting. And he told me of his vision of starting a chapter in New Jersey. And right then and there, I told him on the spot. I said, "If you're serious about it, if you're willing to put in 3 to 5 years of work to build it, I'm all in. I'll do this." And we've been like brothers since the day we met. That's how we met. Where heard what he was doing. I said, "Hey, I'm all in. If you're really serious about it," and you know us. We're like brothers to this day. So it's important that we get it out, because there are still Marines today who have served and do not know about the Montford Point Marines. It's somebody When I went to your event last year,
Right.
your photographer Shane, who's a Marine, didn't know,
Right.
and I talked to him at your event, and he was like, "I never heard of the Montford Point Marines." So
Yeah, I
it's
think that's the
just
part.
a hidden history that we have to go out there and expose to everyone.
Yeah, I think that's why I wanted to have this a little bit, to kind of raise awareness, because you're right, like especially the younger generation of Marines, they don't really know about them, right? I didn't until I got invited to that ball, like what was it, 2019?
Right.
Um and even then I still didn't know the mission. I didn't understand. I was like, but when you think back, it's like they're the reasons why I was allowed to join the Marine Corps. They opened the door for us. Um and and I think it's important to carry their legacy, but also, and because I've experienced it now doing the one ceremony for the families.
Right.
um I think being able to give them the gold star is just, it's, I don't know, it took my breath away when we did that one in August. I was just like,
Right.
well, like I was so hooked. I'm like, definitely want to do this. um it gave me chills, like it literally, like my hair on my arms, were standing up seeing his widow crying, and how proud she was when you guys showed the pictures of him in the uniform. Like that to me was like the reason why, because it matters to them. You know what I mean? Like that Marine was their whole life, and to be able to honor them and to say that, yes, like we thank you and we do remember him. That was for me the most important part. But yeah, so Gary, so what is your vision with this chapter? What do you want to accomplish? We hit the
Well,
ground running. No, what?
well, you know what? We have two missions, two main missions. The first mission, I'm going to piggyback on what you had mentioned about the gold medal ceremony. Our legacy mission is to make sure that the families of the 20,000 some odd men who served at Montford Point in the segregated environment of the Marine Corps, we want to make sure that they are awarded a replica of the Congressional Gold Medal that was brought about during the Obama administration. There's, like I said, it was a little over or a little less than 20,000 men who trained at Montford Point, but we've only handed out maybe 2,800 medals. Once again, as we mentioned on more than one occasion during this conversation, that nobody knows. There's a lot of Montford Point Marines that don't know. Their families don't know because they didn't talk about it, whatever the case may be. But our legacy mission is to make sure that all of these men throughout the country receive the accolades that they so rightly deserve. We're not talking about war heroes. We're talking about heroes, period. These men served at a time when there was hostility at home and hostility abroad. So that just shows the caliber of human being these men were. Our secondary mission is that of not only passing the word, but also being a mentor, being a voice to motivate young people of all ilks, male, female, black, white, Hispanic, anything, and anyone who will listen to us. We have something to give. We've crossed a lot of territory as human beings. Maria's done it. Kelly has done it. I've done it. And every other Marine on this conference call has done it. And we have so much to give and so much to share. This is what we want to do. We want to grow and be involved in the upward mobility for our community and every other community, because of the old saying, a rising tide raises all ships. This is what we're all about. Let's make everybody better. And of course, that sounds like pie in the sky, but it starts with us. And when we start that way, it becomes contagious. Kelly touched upon the friendship that we struck up after one idea and the sharing of an idea. Maria was brought in by the sharing of an idea from Miriam. The word of mouth is the most valuable type of communication, but also we have to put it out there on the airways. We have to put it in print. We have to put it on media. We have to put it on film with video. Every word that we can get out to let them know who we are, what we are, why we are. That's what this whole mission is about. And that's the mission that I feel.
You know, I really like that you touched on something, though. I think that reconnection with each other is important, especially in these groups of veterans, right? I think you have to find the one tribe that you really connect to, right? Because we all wear all these hats, and sometimes you do it just because you're part of the fabric of the veteran community. But a lot of times, if you don't click, if you don't fully support their why, and pull like your soul and passion into it, then you're not going to really build that connection that you did back when you were in the military, right?
Absolutely.
And I think for me, that was one of the biggest like points that drew me in, because I do feel that in this group. And like I said, I like that we get to connect to the families. So I really like that you touched on that subject. Kelly, if you want to expand on that a little bit, I know you also have.
Yeah, I think Gary hit the nail on the head with where we're going. Our mission is huge. We're the only chapter serving the state of New Jersey, so we cover the entire state of New Jersey. So one weekend you might see us in South Jersey, the next weekend you might see us in Jersey City, all over the place. But we're also striving to be a veteran service organization. We want to help all veterans. So even though it's the Montford Point Marine Association, what I want people to know that's watching this, we're open to all veterans, right? Any branch of service can join our organization. So we're not just limited to Marines. And, we're looking forward to helping all veterans. So one of the things that we're doing now, being that, we're still in kind of our infantile stage as an organization, although we've done a lot of different things, we're just getting started. And one of the things we're doing is connecting with all the different veterans organizations in the state, and seeing how we can collaborate to help not just guys in our chapter or in our organization, but to help all veterans. We want to be the type of organization that, yes, we're always going to be out there searching for these original Montford Point Marines or their families so that we can do the gold medal presentation. But we also want to be able to help those veterans today, that are having issues, whether it's homelessness, whether it's some sort of addiction, whether it's issues with the VA. A lot of veterans have problems with the VA. So we're already connected into the Department of Military and Veterans Affairs. We're already connected into some other organizations that serve veterans. So, that's kind of our broad mission. It's always going to be the legacy of the original Montford Point Marines, but it's becoming a veteran service organization. And we do mentoring. We're involved with the Young Marines. We're involved with the ROTC, some ROTC schools, and like every Marine veteran organization, you have Toys for Tots and all that stuff. We make sure we give back to the community during Christmas. So we're out there, and we want to really impact the community, and we want people to know who we are because we need their help in finding these Marines and their families.
Something that you said really like struck deeply for me. I think we're the bridge between the history, the past, and the future, right? Um, because we're connecting the legacy, we're connecting their memories, but we're also trying to build, the younger generation. Um, so I think that's why for me, the mission of our chapter is important. And I think the veteran ecosystem is a very weird kind of animal, right? Because if we want to take care of the veterans, we also have to take care of the families, right? We can't because they're our support system. And I feel like because we do have that as part of the mission here, that we're connecting with the younger veterans, with the older veterans. So I do like that, that we're able to, my artist brain just thought of a painting here. I'm like, oh, we are the bridge. But I really like that though.
And it's interesting you mentioned your artist brain. We all have different strengths, and we find that our strengths complement one another. One of the reasons why we jumped in fully in support of the Claymore vets was because of the creative aspect of it and expressing yourself, other than sitting down in some conversation with a group, talking to a therapist. Sometimes the best therapy is just putting pen to paper. Sometimes therapy is just talking to a buddy. Sometimes it's just being there and being still. And when I saw the quality and the meaningful power of the art that I've seen on display during Claymore Vet events, and it just drew me in, it blew me away. So and it's funny you mentioned about collaboration. There is, I'm the commandant of my local Marine Corps League detachment. Kelly is a member of the Marine Corps League. A lot of us on this call a lot of us of the Montford Point Marine Association here in Jersey are also dual members of the Marine Corps League. That bridges the gap. It bridges the gap, but it also brings a little more cohesion because Marines have to help Marines. And then we help those other service members, like Kelly said. Marines first, veterans second, the community at large third. Those are the three things that tie us together. The community at large is not only the neighborhood and mentoring youngsters and talking to the senior citizens and all of that, but it also helps us. That's our therapy. That's my therapy. Helping somebody. When I help them, I help me. And it's a two-way street. But yeah, that's the cohesion and the collaboration between the service organizations, the VFW, the American Legion. Once we get that as solid as it needs to be, then we'll all thrive.
I think it's something that you said that I think the makeup of a veteran DNA is to be a service, right? I think when we find purpose and it's not so much of like a pride thing, it's more of like I got your six kind of thing, because we could be kind of broken, we could be messed up, but if your buddy needs help, if your sister needs help, you kind of shape up fast and you're like, all right, I got you, right? And I think that's where we kind of all rescue each other,
Yes.
And I think that's why it's important that you said that it kind of crosses, groups, and it goes across generations as well. For younger veterans like me, like I find really a lot of mentorship in having the older generations, I like sitting down and like hearing their stories because, you know, you learn to navigate the world a little bit differently, right? For
Absolutely.
you guys, it's good for you to learn from us because, you know, hey, here we are chatting on the video, right? So
Mhm.
like we, like I said, it's a good gap. There, I don't know if you guys can see the comments. Can you guys read the comments?
Yeah, I'm looking at them.
Okay, good. So you guys can, like, if somebody says something, like, you can give them a shout out, like Tim's there, Lester,
Well,
Master
I want to
Sergeant.
give Master Guns Escalante a shout out.
Yeah. Master Guns was here. There's somebody, Daniel Semper Fi. So if you
And
guys,
Lester Shelley, I will send you an email with all our contact information. We could definitely partner up and see what we can do with your organization.
oh, there he is.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, I'm really glad that we're able to have this conversation because I really feel like this chapter is like the best kept, you know, little best kept secret here in New Jersey. And I really wanted to get the word out, and share a little bit of the legacy in you guys. So yeah, I don't know if you guys want to. How do we how can people contact you? How do they join up? Oh, do you want to explain to them a little bit how the process is to find a Gold Star family and how we do that? Because I think that's one of the big, you know, I think when once you experience that personally, it changes you.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, it's
you know what I mean?
powerful.
Yeah,
It's very
exactly.
powerful.
Yes. A lot of times we'll do things, and like we were talked about and touched upon before. First of all, is word of mouth. Having a conversation with someone, just because people will come over when they hear a good conversation, they lend an ear. But we've found, and Kelly has actually been a very good recipient of this. During conversation, we have met people that knew someone whose uncle, father, big brother, grandfather were a Marine. The first question we come out with is, did they get their gold medal? Once we find out, yay or nay if they have gotten their congressional gold medal, then we start the process. We start gathering information and paperwork of getting that rectified. We had the pleasure of meeting a Montford Point Marine that we did not know about until 2 weeks before his death, through a conversation I had with another Marine that I was working the Toys for Tots table. And he said, I know a Montford Point Marine. He lives down the street from me. I said, really? I need his name. Didn't know he existed in Metuchen. I found out more about him. Did not get a chance to lay eyes on him until he was in the hospital with a case of terminal pneumonia. And I had the opportunity to meet him, introduce myself, give him a salute, and the man tried to return my salute laying there in his sick bed. Kelly had the opportunity to meet him. Another member had an opportunity to meet him. And even though our encounter with him was very brief, it was very powerful. Now, you said something earlier, Maria, about what it means to talk to someone that's an elder. Yes, we feel the same way. When I talk to some of these originals and guys that have served way before me, Korea, Vietnam, early Vietnam, things of that nature, and it's a learning experience. I'm like a little kid. I'm like, wow, and they have so much to share with you. There's so much to give, and that's one of the things that I've tried to share with people. Anytime somebody, an old man or an old woman, wants to talk, just listen to them, because you're going to learn something, whether it's civilian, military, or anything of that nature. Listen to them, because they're going to tell you something that you don't know. They're going to give you something that you didn't have. They're going to share something with you you didn't know needed to be shared. So we do that. We go through archives. The national organization has a system put together to where they actually try to find people. But it's not as easy as you may think. but the National Archives for the United States military, we have access to someone who has been out of the military over 60 years. If they've been out over 60 years, their military record is public record. Anybody can ask. Anybody can gain some information. So if you have a distant cousin that you may have thought, you can get information that way. It's kind of a long, drawn-out situation during the COVID era, but it's still there and it still works. So that's one of the avenues. Kelly, you got anything to say?
Yeah, and I would just say this to everybody that's watching, and this, you can help us in so many different ways. The first way you can help us, or one of the ways you can help us, is help us find these people, help us find these families. So you may have a neighbor, a friend, a coworker, a family member who served in the military, that served in the Marine Corps during World War II. If they're Black, they're a Montford Point Marine, because that's the only place that Black men went in the Marine Corps during World War II. And even if you're not sure what branch of service, you can still reach out to us and we can help you. And I'm going to tell you how to do that. But the best thing you could do is take all the information that you've heard here tonight and kind of internalize that. Keep it close to your heart. And now be aware of when you hear about other veterans that, hey, there's this organization out there. It doesn't hurt to contact us. The other way you can support us is by joining us. If you're a veteran, we're open. Our doors are open. All you got to do is contact us. You can come be a part of our mission. We are an organization. We're not a club. I'm gonna put that out front. It's not a club. It's not a get together. We are serious about the mission at hand. We're serious about preserving the legacy, and we are serious about serving the state of New Jersey. So I know some veterans say, hey, I'm not looking for more friends. Neither of us are looking for more friends, but we became friends with a common goal and a common vision. So it's like that. And the other way you can support us is we're a nonprofit organization, which means you can make a donation that helps us in the work that we're doing. And I'm going to give out our email address. It's info. Everybody knows info at NJ, which stands for New Jersey, MPMA, Montford Point Marine Association 45, which is our chapter number, .org. So info at njmpma45.org. And maybe Marie, I don't know if you can put that in the chat. We can't do it. But that's just shoot us an email and we will thank you, Tim Davis. And that's how you reach us with any questions. Or another way, this is Black History Month. And I'm not going to get into, Black History Month is February. It should be another month. It is what it is. But we could come share this history with you in February or any other month. So if you're a member of a church, organization, maybe you do something with youth, maybe you got a football team, cheerleading team, or whatever. We come in and we do presentations. We do presentations from the youngest to the oldest. We're doing a presentation that everybody can grasp what we're talking about in the history of the Montford Point Marines. So Black History Month, reach out to us. Again, info at njmpma45.org, and we can set up to come in and do a presentation, and we will do it at the time that's allotted. If you got 15 minutes for us, we'll give you the 15 minute. If you got 30 minutes for us, we'll give you the 30 minutes. We'll make it work. But our mission is to get the word out. So that's how you can help us locate people, join our organization, support our organization financially, and help us getting the word out by introducing us to all the different organizations that you're involved with.
So there's a question here, Gina. She wants to get a membership. How does she get an application? Can she do it on the email or?
So tell Gina, who's my friend and a Marine,
I know.
Send her the email I sent her last year with all
Listen.
the information.
Listen.
Gina keeps
I
asking.
don't be telling her. I have been telling her.
Me and Gina do an email. But Gina, I know you're watching. I got you.
Yeah, she's laughing now.
Yeah,
Girl,
yeah.
you can't come up in here and act like I need an
Let me get an
application when all three of us have done told you, all right? So,
Yeah,
Hey, look at that email I sent you last year.
right.
Gina, you tried to ease it in there as if
I
you were
know.
some other Gina. You know,
Right.
we know who you are.
I didn't forget about you,
I need
Gina.
an application. Girl, you're about to get butt kicked. So, before we move on to like more business stuff, but I really do want like because I experiencing it like on a personal level for you guys. What does it mean when you contact the families the first time and like, hey, we found this Marine and he deserves a medal? Like, what is their reaction? What do you guys, how does it make you feel? What does it hit you? Like, what is it? Because I think that's a very important aspect of the mission.
It is very powerful. It's very powerful. Every time I do something like that or in that vein, it just reinforces what we do. And it's like it makes me Superman. It's like a shot of adrenaline. But it's very, very powerful. You talked about the event that we had in August, and that's what. So just so people know, veterans are in all different stages. We could do a gold medal ceremony in a veterans home bedside. We could do a veterans a gold medal ceremony in a church or wherever, or we could do a full blown gold medal ceremony like we did in August. Whatever the family desires, that's what we do. Our job is just to do the ceremony. So in August, it was a full blown ceremony, and a lot of people saw that on News 12, which was great for us. But there's nothing greater than finding a Marine. We're working on another gold medal now, and I'll tell this story. Gary's aware of this. Gary was down in Philadelphia at the chapter president's house down there, who I call the Montford Point historian. If you ever go to his house, it's like the Montford Point Museum.
It's a museum.
and Gary is there, and Gary is looking at all this Montford Point memorabilia he has, and he had a logbook. Literally, he had a logbook in there from a captain that was a platoon commander, white platoon commander at Montford Point. And inside it, the guy had meticulous notes about everybody in the platoon. And from their name, their ages, where they were from. Gary took a couple of pictures of the pages, sent it to me, and said, hey, look. And I'm looking, and I see a couple of names from New Jersey, and one of the names stuck out. I said, I know this name, and it was a very unusual name. I'm not going to say it here on the air because we're still working with the family. But it stuck out. So I go to Facebook, and I say, I must be a friend with this person. Come to find out, I wasn't a friend of the person, but he knows a lot of people I know. So I was seeing a lot of his posts, and that's why their name stuck out. Sure enough, I sent him an email, introduced myself, what we do. And I say, hey, I'm trying to find the relatives of this person, this Marine. That was his uncle.
See?
That was, it was, and that was just one of those, that's what it's supposed to be. So we're currently working with that family right now to get all the paperwork in and to get the gold medal ceremony. But it could be something as innocent as that. The Marine that Gary talked about earlier, the one that we met, unfortunately, when he was in the hospital, he was in JFK, right? Everybody knows what JFK is at. He was in JFK. Unfortunately, he passed away, but he was 98 years old, and he lived a totally full life. But with meeting his family, they put us in touch with two other Marines. We found out his next door neighbor was also a Montford Point Marine, and they have been neighbors for over 40 years, right here in Metuchen. And his best friend was another Montford Point Marine in Washington, D.C. The gentleman that lived next door, both of them had the Congressional Gold Medal. The one in Washington never received his, and we're working with that family now. Yeah. So it's a matter of talking. It's just a matter of having that conversation and, everybody just knowing that elevator pitch, that 60-second pitch of who we are, what we do, and what we're looking for. But just from that connection, we are now working with the family in Washington, D.C. to get the paperwork so we can get that Marine's family the Congressional Gold Medal, and his wife is still alive.
Right.
The son is literally taking care of the wife. His mother, but they're still alive. Hopefully, we'll get that done, you know, relatively soon, and that's just another. So we have a couple of other people in the hopper that we're just going through the process. Is it?
Oh no, no, go ahead.
I'll just say this. If you have your loved ones or that Marines, if you still around, if you have their discharge papers, it could be 45 days where we're doing a gold medal ceremony. If you don't have the papers, and like Gary said earlier, if we have to go to the archives, the National Archives, then it's a little bit longer. But the bottom line is we can get the ball rolling. It doesn't matter. And even if that Marine has already passed away, it is still the legacy of the family. And that's it. That's that Marine's family's legacy. That your uncle, your father, your grandfather, your cousin earned a Congressional Gold Medal, and they played an important part of American history by helping integrate the United States Marine Corps, which led to the total integration of all the armed services in the United States.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I think like it might seem like a very small thing, right? But when you think about the time where they served, right, and they came back to not being treated as, they're being treated as second-class citizens, for their families to have this, moment of validation that their sacrifice is worth it, right? And I
Right.
think like that's the most powerful thing that we can do with this movement. But Gina has a question there. Can you read it?
I read it. I see it.
I'll
Not
get
that-
back to you on that.
no. Here's what I do know. I know the first woman officer went in 49. I don't think any Black women Marines served during World War II, but in the Army, definitely Black women served. And there's actually an effort now to get them the Congressional Gold Medal for the 6888 triple eight.
Yeah. They were actually
uh,
a male battalion. Yeah.
So that's the effort there. But as far as Black women serving in the Marine Corps during World War II, my understanding that it was not. But I will definitely look that up.
This recruit does not know, but we'll find out, ma'am.
Since Gina wants to be a member, I will look that up.
I will get back to you. But I don't want to hold, and like I know you guys are super busy, so I don't want to keep you here for a long time. But if you wanted to, if there were some like closing thoughts that you really just wanted everyone to know, what would you share with them, both of you?
Gary, you want me to go first? I'll go first, so the president can close us out.
Yep.
About that. I will say this. Although we're talking about the Montford Point Marines, and some people will hear Black Marines, it's really Marine Corps history. It's American history, and it's part of the fabric of this country. We, and when I say we, I mean everyone, not just veterans, but everyone wouldn't be here today without the contribution of all Marines of all colors. And that's what we have to recognize. The military has always kind of been a reflection of society, and at times been the precursor for change in society. The Marine Corps, fully integrated in 1949, but the Civil Rights Bill didn't come around until the 60s, right? So when we talk about really integrating stuff, so it's an important part of history. We have an important mission. We need everybody's help, and it's not just a Congressional Gold Medal, but like I said earlier, it's about being that veteran service organization that can also help Marines or veterans with all their other needs. And we play a critical role in this society. We're an important part of the fabric of society, and we're looking forward to building a very strong chapter here in New Jersey and really impacting our community in the state of New Jersey. So I'll turn it over to our president.
Before I close, I will let you know the first Black female Marine was by the name of Annie Grimes.
I knew that.
She retired as a warrant officer. Without going through a whole bunch of stuff, look it up. Annie Grimes, first Black female Marine. Now, why is all these firsts so important? We, as a society, the American society is an ideal. The ideal of all races, religions, and ethnic backgrounds can actually live together, work together for the common good. In concept, it's a brilliant idea. In reality, it fits and starts. The legacy of Black people in America is that of part of it was slavery. A major part of it was slavery. Things have changed as we've gone along. Even in our lifetimes, my lifetime anyway, I can cite changes that have occurred from when I was a little boy, seeing the 1963 riots down south during marches, fire hoses and all that, to today. Do I see improvement? Yes. Do I see where we still have a long way to go? Yes. That's why we still celebrate firsts. First Black Marines, first Black female Marine, first Black general, first Black female general, etc., etc. Because now that makes everybody more inclusive. It makes that fabric, that quilt of the American society that's made up of all these different colors and shapes fall together to keep us all nice and warm and toasty. So our legacy and what we do is to make sure everybody, color, creed, sexual orientation, height, if you can see well or not. But more important, we all have something to contribute and something major to contribute to what society as a whole and the world as a whole, to make everything fall together. We're just a little cog that is trying to pass the word. There's no shame in being that little cog, because that little cog helps turn that big wheel. And this is what we're all about. We're about discovery of who we are. It gives us that warm fuzzy when we know that someone before us did this. Well, hell, I can do it too. That means, wow, maybe I can be that. I'll try. So the importance that we bring as an organization of a cohesion, as you've probably noticed, we're an equal opportunity organization. We're not going to stop you to, you're not Black enough. You're not the right color. No. You want to join and share in this legacy? Because our legacy is everybody's legacy. All of us have been a first at something. And the importance of being first, bless you.
Thank you.
And the important part about all of this cohesion, before it's over with, it might not be in our lifetimes, but damn it, we're going to get it right in this country before it's over with. And it starts with us, because we have progressed so far from where they were. And where they were during World War I and the Spanish-American War and the Civil War and the War of 1812, et cetera, all the way back in history. We have progressed so much. And we have to keep progressing. It's not one and done. Yeah, we did it. Okay, so we can stop now. No, you keep going like everything else. And that's what this is all about. We make sure the legacy is passed on for these. I'm surrounded. I ain't that great. I just happen to be surrounded by great people. I have Kellys, I have Marias, I have Miriams, I have Tims, I have Cuthberts, and everybody else on this team, everybody else on this call. You're part of the team too, because you stayed and listened. But what's important, come on board. We got something for you to do. But part of what we want you to do is just pass on the legacy. This is what it's all about. Start your own legacy. Bring your piece to the table, like Maria. Ooh, I have the Claymore vets. Really. I remember when Miriam first introduced or first mentioned you. Oh yes, I'm going to be on this board of directors for this female veteran organization. Really, what's it about? Etc. Etc. It ballooned from there. So now we have a beautiful collaboration. We collaborate and support Claymore Vets. The head of Claymore Vets joined us. That makes us that much stronger. What was the little example in Planet of the Apes? One stick breaks easy. A bundle of sticks, you can't.
Right.
So now as we bundle our sticks together, that makes us that much stronger. That's all I got.
And that's all she wrote. You can smoke your cigar, sir. That was a good close-up. No, I really want to thank you both for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it. I am so honored that we got to share this legacy because I think it's important, and also to share with the community that, you know, we're here and we're open, and for them to come join us. So thank you. Thanks everyone that joined us and interacted. So we're not here talking to ourselves. So we'll see you guys around, and you have the website right on the thing, so people have it.
Hey Tim, can you put the website in?
Yeah, just one more time, Tim. Coming in.
Put the website and the info address. Yes, Gina, I will send you the email.
For the billionth time. You can't escape now because look, you're alive.
I know.
All these witnesses.
No, she has to answer it now.
Yep.
He's on the hook.
Gina, you're just not you put yourself on blast. Now you gotta, answer it. I think Tim might have left. Because he's usually quick. Let me do it in here. Tim, are you there? Oh, there he goes.
Okay, there he is. And put the email address up there again, Tim, please. Thank you. This is great. You can tell people what to do from here.
Yeah, right? You're like, hey.
Remote command.
you virtually voluntold him. All right. Well, thank you both so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
See you soon. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.
Good night, all.
Take care. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.